What's up everybody, this is KG. Today I'm going to tell you 5 reasons you need to travel. I myself have traveled to many different places, and traveling to me is a passion in my life and an addiction. So this is a topic I wanted to expand on because there might be people who have not gone on trips before or who may be debating whether I should or should not travel. This video is to convince you for sure 100% you should be going places and you should be seeing things and experiencing the world. The first reason you need to travel is for a change in your regular routine. If you're always working and caught up in your paperwork, and if you never get a chance to explore anything new, it may weigh down on you, and traveling gives you a chance to take a break from that. When you go on a trip, you get a chance to reduce your stress by taking your mind off the things that you've been doing every day, and you get a chance to refresh, re-energize yourself, and at the end of the day, that is really good for your health. It will also empower you to take on new challenges that may not have been possible for you mentally in the past. The second reason you need to travel is because of the foods you get to try all around the world. Whenever you're in a new country or a new land, they have their own way of cooking foods. You may have gone to a restaurant in the city you live in that cooks a food of a certain nationality or a certain background, but it will never be the same as eating it in the home country itself. I personally can attest to that, and one good example for me is when I went to Japan. I ate okonomiyaki in Hiroshima, and I've had a similar style okonomiyaki here in Toronto. It definitely is not as good as the one I had in Hiroshima. Even the ingredients they use, if they have local ingredients and items that they grow locally that you won't find over here or wherever you are, it gives you a different taste and a different feel. Another example for me is when I went to Spain, and in Spain I had really delicious tomatoes. They have flavor bursting out of them, and I've never had a tomato here in Canada that tastes anywhere close to the tomatoes I've had in Spain. Also, before traveling, I was never a fan of seafood. The first time I really enjoyed seafood was when I went to Spain as well, and I went to a city called Valencia. On the coast there, I went to a seafood restaurant, and they had prepared these really fresh and tasty fish. In the past, I never would have tried it, but I was there with a friend of mine who was a seafood lover. And lucky for me, I was brave enough to give it a shot, and that was one of the best meals I've had in my entire life. So there you go, right there and then traveling changed me right in that moment. I became a seafood lover. The third reason you need to travel is it gives you an opportunity to make new friends all over the world. From my own traveling experiences, I've made many friends all over the world, and sometimes I go to a country where other people are also visiting the same country, so I make friends with people in a country I've never been to. And what that has allowed me to do is in the future, plan a trip to a country that I've never seen and experience it with the person from that country and from that culture, and I get to experience that place in much more depth and much more authenticity than just going there as a tourist by myself. Some of the best experiences in life come from making new friends and meeting new people and exploring their cultures and lifestyles. So definitely making new friends is a big plus or a bonus of traveling, and that's another reason why I say you need to travel. The fourth reason I say you need to travel is because traveling can be very inspirational. There's so much to see and explore in the world. There's beautiful sceneries, the food that I spoke about earlier. There are many historical sites you can visit. And of course, new experiences lead to new ways of thinking. One example of inspiration for me was that I went to a lot of countries where they speak Spanish. I've been to Cuba, I've been to Spain, I've been to Dominican Republic, and even when I go to parts of the southern United States, there's a lot of people who speak in Spanish. So for me, I went to all these places, and a lot of times I could not communicate with people. So it was a little bit frustrating for me, but that led to the inspiration to learn how to speak in Spanish. So now I can speak fairly fluently in Spanish, and that came because of my travels. The fifth reason you need to travel, and this is my favorite reason, it's because it's the best form of education. You learn about various cultures, you see how people live, how they come up, you can see their economic situations, you can see different levels of poverty or people who are living really well, you can see the wealth of the country, you can see their working habits, you can see if they're a laid-back culture that move along slowly, take their time in life, you can see if they're like a workaholic type society, and you can compare and contrast the different things. An example for me of one of the best pieces of education or learning that I got out of traveling was when I went to India. I went there when I was younger, and being from Canada, I had not experienced the amount of people, the volume of people that are in India. So when I was in Bombay, there were so many people. It was like an ocean of people. So I had never experienced being so crowded and so surrounded by people before. I'm always used to having my space in my room, but I never really appreciated it until I experienced that. So when I came back to Canada, I was like, thank God I have my room. I can move around. I can do whatever I got to do. The other things is like the cockroaches in India, they were huge. And toilets, they had in-ground toilets. There was a lot of things over there that made me appreciate my life in Canada a lot more. The foods there were very spicy, and I could not handle the spicy food. I was used to the mild food in Canada, but slowly developed a taste for spicy food as I got older. But back then, I really appreciated my non-spicy food when I came back. So there's so many contrasts and things you learn from going to different places. The good thing I learned in India was going to all these historical sites. So I learned the history and the background of the Indian culture and where my heritage is from. And the other thing I learned in India was that if I did live there, I would definitely not be a city boy there. I like their countryside a lot better than their city life. I went to the hill stations in India, and they were very peaceful and places you can go reflect and relax, and definitely would be my style of life if I lived in India. Another good thing I found in India was their coconuts. I love coconuts, so I could always have fresh coconuts every day, which I cannot have here every day. Because of the tropical climate there, I got to enjoy that while I was down there. So you get a chance to compare and contrast a lot of things, and this is just from one place. So if you're going to a different place, you're gonna have a chance to compare and contrast based on where you're from and where you're going, and it will bring you a new perspective in life. So for me, the best reason why you need to travel is because you get to learn a lot of cool things. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Take care. See you again next time. Peace.